Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friends! Welcome to Kardec Radio and welcome to another Prayer for Peace. We are here, friends, together in this very special day. Yes, today it is April 1st and we are entering a very special month. The month of April in Spiritism is a month of celebration. Exactly 166 years ago, 1st of April of 1858, Allan Kardec found the very first Spiritist center in the world. Yes, the Parisian Society of Spiritist Studies. Isn't this amazing, friends? We're so grateful for Kardec. Yes, because of him, we are here today. But the celebrations don't stop there. Tomorrow is the celebration of Chico Xavier's birthday. And on April 18, we also celebrate the publishing of the Spiritist book, the very first book in the Spiritist codification. So, what a wonderful month, right, friends? And today is, we know a lot of people say it's April's Fool's Day, but no, we in Spiritism have much more to celebrate. And it's not a joke, it's very serious. And we are so happy because of Kardec. We are here today and to know that he founded the very first Spiritist Center on April 1st. It's delightful. So today, in this beautiful celebration, we're gonna read a very special message, and I actually gonna share my screen with all of you because we want to share this beautiful publication that it is literally hot off the press, was just published today. The Spiritist magazine is celebrating 15 years, friends. And today, issue number 61 was published. We are so grateful. Yes, we're going to be reading a message straight from this very issue of the Spiritist magazine. If you want to access this issue, it's free of charge. You can access online in the several platforms of the Spiritist magazine. You can go to the website, thespiritistmagazine.com or thespiritistmagazine.org. You can download the app right on your phone and you can download and read it for free. And if you want, you can actually order and receive a hard copy. You can purchase a hard copy and it will be delivered to your home. So because we are celebrating the month of Spiritism, we're going to read this message by Emmanuel titled In the Spiritist Group. It is on page 36 of the Spiritist magazine. So you can go straight to it. And we're going to be reading this message together for our reflection today. This message is published in the book Segue-me in Portuguese, in English Follow Me by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. This book is not yet published in English, but the team at Kardec Radio have translated the book, and there is a series of programs that our dear Vanessa and Salon did on each message of this book. But this particular message you can read in English in the Spiritist magazine. So Emmanuel starts by quoting Jesus in Matthew chapter 18, verses 20. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in their midst. And then Emmanuel brings us this message. Having come to understand that each worker in the Christian Spiritist harvest undertakes a specific task, it is necessary to ask ourselves from time to time, what we are in the group of work to which we belong. Okay, so he's saying, from time to time, let us ask ourselves this question to all of us who are involved in Christian Spiritism, especially those who are working on this, who are there sharing this knowledge. But this is for all of us, for our reflection. So, are we a key to solving obstacles or an element that exacerbates them? Are we a constant companion who attends the lessons or an assistant who, out of boredom, appears occasionally? Are we a friend who understands and helps or an invertebrate critic who complicates or disapproves? Are we a balm that restores or a corrosive that poisons? Are we a nurse dedicated to the good of the community or a patient who must be tolerated and treated by others? Are we a spring of help or a desolate health with no benefit to anyone? Are we support in the good works or a crack for the influence of evil? Are we a fruitful plant or a destructive parasite? Are we a spring of peace or a vehicle of discord? Or are we a blessing or a problem? Let us make such evaluation and we will verify without difficulty if we are simply in the Spiritist doctrine or if the Spiritist doctrine is already clear within us. Wow, a short message, but brings us so many questions for our reflections. Friends, we know the Spiritist Center is a sacred place. We are here connected online virtually, but which is wonderful, right? We love to have technology as a tool. However, it's so important going presentially to our respective Spiritist centers. And why is that? Because there we find the spiritual support in both realms. There we find the security that we need. Not that in our homes, hopefully we pray, but our homes are not as secure as the Spiritist Center. Think of the Spiritist Center as you're entering a hospital. The environment is prepared so much for each one of us. And we look for a Spiritist Center. We might have come across a Spiritist Center at a time when we were suffering, which is wonderful that we look for that help. But this message is talking specifically to those who are there to not only to receive, but they are there to give of themselves. And all of us are called. Are we there to creating problems or are we helping? How come? Do we enter the Spiritist Center as Emmanuel is bringing us in this message? And we're there thinking about how can I help this sacred place Because we know in order for it, we still live on earth. So, in order for the Spiritist Center to materialize itself, it needs a lot of people, a lot of different resources, not only financial resources, but it needs dedication. It's easy to enter and sit down, but someone was there. Do we know who we clean the room? Who prepared the room? Who prepared the talk? Who prepared the program for the children? Do we know what happened in the behind the scenes? So, do we enter with a posture of helping, saying, okay, how can I be a good spiritist? Or are we there to create obstacles? How can we create obstacles? If we sit down and we think, oh, this room is not clean enough. Oh, how come? And the speaker start to talk and we start to judge and we say, oh, I don't really like the way they're saying this. When we look at the color of the wall and we're like, oh, I would paint this wall a different color, put a different paper. Well, we know Spiritism, thoughts, life. So we, instead of being helpful to the spiritual mentors, we are creating obstacles. Are we a companion who attends the lessons, as Emmanuel says, there constantly? Or we come and when it's convenient to us, oh, today I had nothing on my schedule, so I will go to the had a power outage for a few seconds, but we are back online. We're just gonna check here our channels to confirm, but here we are, friends. We are back. Thank you for your patience to staying here connected with us. So let us recap. We're reading this message about the Spiritist Center. This message Emmanuel brings to us, talking about who are we in the Spiritist Center. Are we those who are there to help in both realms, or are we there creating obstacles more than helping out? Do we attend the lessons frequently, or do we come when it is convenient to us? So many people, they say, oh, I'm going to go to the Spiritist Center when everything falls into place. We know that that would be very hard because we're still in a planet of trials and expiation, and there are many in the spiritual realm who don't want us to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves. So, of course, the day we plan to go to the Spiritist Center is the hardest, is the day that we will have to overcome obstacles sometimes at work, in our families, at home. So, we need to persevere. We need to stay strong, not only coming when it's convenient to all of us. Are we a friend at the Spiritist Center who helps, or a critic that complicates and disapproves? As we were saying at the beginning, do we enter the Spiritist Center and we go home criticizing those who are there, the group, those who are doing the work? How come? Aren't we Christians? Didn't Jesus teach us to be understanding, to be fraternal, and to put ourselves on other shoes? Are we the ones there in the front? If we're not, then who are we to be in the position to judge others, right? Even if we are those who are taking the lead, we cannot judge anyone. That's what we learn with Jesus. We're all brothers and sisters. So if we are not practicing that inside the Spiritist Center, how are we going to practice outside, right? Emmanuel continues saying, are we a dedicated nurse that it's good to the community? Or we enter the Spiritist center and we are a patient who must be tolerated and treated. Yes, there are times that we will need help for ourselves, we'll look for help, but are we constantly the patient that instead of bringing balm, peace to the group, we're always talking about our problems, ourselves, because of me, right? The mentors in the Spirit Society of Virginia always remind us to practice forgetting about ourselves. Of course, if we need help, there are moments for it. We're going to look for the fraternal assistance, right? We do the spiritual treatment. But once we are in the spiritual center thinking, I'm here to serve. So when we enter through the doors, we say, my problems, they stay outside. I'm here to help and serve. And then Emmanuel continues in saying, are we a support in the good works or a crack for the influence of evil? Oh, wow. We don't want to breathe the crack for the influence of evil, right, friends? Of course not. We're going to be a support for the good spirits. But how? How can we prevent that? As we were saying, not to criticize, not to think we're better than anyone, not to think that we have a better idea than everyone, to be patient, to be tolerant, to be kind, helpful. So that's how we can secure ourselves, to make sure our thoughts align with our feelings. Because if not, we're going to enter the center, but our feelings, they're not going to be aligned. Another way that we can be a crack in our spiritual group is if we enter the center and we study, we talk about being fraternal, be loving, be kind. But the minute that we leave the doors of the center, we're not coherent. We live a different life. We're just thinking about material things, about material gains. We are not fraternal ourselves. We're not tolerant. So we say one thing, but we practice another. So there is an incoherent there. And then he ends by saying, are we a spring of peace or a vehicle of discord? Are we a blessing or a problem? So, friends, as we said at the beginning, as we enter in the month of April and we celebrate this beautiful month of Spiritism, where so many key events in the Spiritist history has happened, let us use this month to reflect. If we are a Spiritist worker, let us go to this message in the Spiritist magazine. For those who are just joining us now, we read this message from the newest version of the Spiritist magazine, number 61. The message is titled In the Spiritist Group. So if we are Spiritist worker, let us go there to the Spiritist magazine, read this message, reflect. If we are here on Kardec Radio, but we don't have a Spiritist center where we are, or we are not joining a group, let us ask ourselves, friends, what is the purpose of our reincarnation? If we have the blessings of getting to know about Spiritism, what is our role? Because Jesus calls all of us each and every day. So maybe we are the ones that need to lead up the torch where we are and start a small group sometimes in our homes, our own homes with a gospel at home. Or sometimes we can join others who are doing that task. So all of us are called. But let us reflect. It's not by chance we're all here together. We're all connected with one another. People in so many different places across the world. Yes, we have the blessing of use this beautiful technology and to have Kardec Radio. So let us enter this month, friends, renewing ourselves as we think about our role and we think about ourselves in this and what this beautiful doctrine brings to our lives. So with that, friends, we invite everyone for our prayer of today. Gonna put some music for us. There we go. Dear loving Master Jesus, what a blessing to be here today, connected with the loving and kind mentors who guide our lives, who support each and every one of us. We are so grateful in this very day when 166 years ago, Allan Kardec published the first Spiritist book on April 18, 1858. And about 1 year later, he opened the very first Spiritist center in the world. Tonight we pray that whenever he is, Allan Kardec, Amélie Boudet, his wife, and all those, the first Spiritists, they receive our gratitude. Because of them, their efforts, renunciation, perseverance, we are here today. And we also thank all those that came after them, dedicating their lives to spreading Spiritism, bringing us so many books, messages, recommendations, including our dear Chico Xavier. They also were truly pioneers because they allowed us to have access to this blessed doctrine. We're so grateful for Spiritism in our lives that brings us consolation, brings us hope, brings us understanding about who we are as a person, as an immortal spirit. Who are those in our lives and why we are here? We pray tonight for all those connected in these prayerful moments with us, that they can feel your blessings whenever they are, their families, loved ones. We pray, dear Master, for those that have recently discarnated by tragic events. We pray for those that because of the storms in the United States have lost their homes, family members, loved ones. We pray, dear Master, for those who are this very moment in hospitals, nursing homes, prisons, shelters, those who are in refugee camps and war zones around the world, that they can find your peace in their hearts and the hope that the good prevails always. With much gratitude in our heart, Master Jesus, we ask your permission to close these prayerful moments of tonight, and so be it. Friends, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience as we manage some technical difficulties here. Thank you, Jardineiros de Cafarnaum, for joining Slavic and others who are joining us later on demand. We hope you feel the beautiful embrace by Master Jesus, and that whenever you are, you have a blessed day and a blessed week. And stay connected here in Kardec Radio because we have much more to come. And tomorrow at 6 p.m., that would be another beautiful prayer for peace. Have a beautiful day, friends. We'll see you next time.